Hey, Bart.
Hey, Court.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't going to say that.
You weren't? That's too bad.
Okay, let's start over. Ready? Take two. I am so excited about our interview today with Kate Knecht from Tomlinsons.
And Tomlinsons, yay, I am too.
Tell everybody what Tomlinsons is.
Tomlinsons is a fourth generation, basically pet store. They do all kinds of different foods. They've always been on the cutting edge of like new kinds of foods and like what's healthy and toys and
all kinds of supplies. And did you
pets.
know that in their South Austin location, they also have adoptable pets?
What?
Mostly cats and kittens, but there's a couple cute pups there.
They also do a lot of fundraising. So philanthropy is very important to them.
Yeah.
They're a really great. I love mom and pop companies, not because we are, but I really like the fact that family is first and they treat their employees like family, and it's not a corporation trying to make a buck.
And they are the epitome of what a great family business looks like. Yeah. So let's get started and get talking to Kate.
I'm there.
All right. Hi, Kate. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tomlinsons, tell us a little bit about the history behind Tomlinsons, because it's a really kind of special story.
Yeah,
Sure.
Multi-generational, right?
4 generations of my family.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Tomlinsons, the original Tomlinsons was started in 1946 by T.R. Tomlinson. And it was initially a chick hatchery out near Gerald. Then he moved to Austin, what was then still the outskirts of Austin. And now it's, 75 years later, it's central Austin. Yeah. And so he ran it up until about the 60s when he was older and his health started to fail. And my grandfather, had been in the brokerage business, and he wanted to own his own business where he could raise his kids and things like that. So he bought Tomlinsons from Mr. Tomlinson in 1974, I believe. And my dad and uncle grew up in the business, and my brother and I, a generation later, grew up in the business. My great grandmother did the accounting when my grandfather owned it. And so, 4 generations of my family, and 75 years later, here we are.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Wow. I thought we were cool because we'd been around for 25.
Yeah, I know. We're
25 is a big milestone as well. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'm curious to know, at what age did you think I might want to be involved in this business versus just doing something on your own? Because we have kids and we're wondering if that will, happen for them too.
Sure. At no point in my adolescence, and I was never opposed to it, but my parents always encouraged us to go do whatever we felt called to do. And he and I never felt pressure to come back and work in the business. But my brother and I are both business kind of oriented. He was working in LA at film studios. I was working in San Francisco in technology startups. And we both were telling my parents, you guys have an incredible opportunity. Your industry is exploding. You should be adding stores, et cetera. And finally, my parents said, okay, fine, then you do it. So my brother and I, around the same time, moved back home and joined the business, and have continued to grow it. So not until we were adults did we know.
Wow. So
it really is, like, I don't want to say new blood because it's the same blood, but like, do you think the growth that you guys have had, or the changes that have happened, would have happened if, like, you guys wouldn't have, like, the kids wouldn't have come home, so to speak?
No. And my father will tell you that as well. I mean, my dad, my dad grew the business, from, he graduated college on a Saturday and started work at the business on a Monday, and grew it for 30 years. So he, shepherded the business for many, many years, and knew that we would, as you said, kind of bring fresh legs and fresh eyes. So, it's been a team effort, but we've all played a big part.
Yeah. That's great.
How many stores did you have when you and your brother came on, and how many do you have now?
That's a good question. So for most of my time growing up, we had right at 4 stores. And then in about 2008 to 2010 is when we really started to grow. So when we came on board, we were maybe at 6 or 7, and now we're at 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were just somewhere and I saw a new store. I was like, there's a Tomlinsons over there. Where were
there's
we?
the one on Far West, and there's the one over. We go to the one at Breaker and by the Arboretum.
I don't remember where we were. Do you have some like on the outskirts of Austin?
We went to the one in Round Rock too.
That one's been there for a little while.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Belterra out near Dripping Springs is our newest store.
That's where it was, because
yeah.
we were driving out to see some friends that have some property out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our newest location.
Well,
that's wonderful.
I love recommending you guys to our clients because, like I said before, like support local, and I don't have anything against PetSmart, but like I love having y'all as a like family business, so we can say this is old fashioned customer service, and the people that work there care about their jobs and they care about the people, and they're not doing it because they're a corporation.
And they're educated about all the different kinds of food and, pet food and supplies. And I mean, you probably know this, Kate, but before we ever started Dogboys, Bart here was an employee of Tomlinson's.
I was.
Hey.
Yeah. Your grandpa and your dad interviewed me.
Yeah, it was a location that's not open anymore.
It was the one over on Burnett, across from the JJ Pickle. And then I did a little bit of time at the 49th Street or 40. Is it?
Yeah.
49th and
like
a half?
the original store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the bird room. They put me in the bird room one day.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Back then you guys had lots of birds for sale, and
we did.
It was a feed store. It was a pet store. It was it was really cool. It still is really cool, but it's fun. It's been fun to see it kind of grow and change over the years. But he always jokes with your dad that, he was fired from Tomlinson's, and your dad's always like, no, I think you quit. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I was fired.
Yeah. I think it was both. We both agree that the manager that I was working under was
not ideal.
He was not doing his part.
I'm sure your management team is much better now.
Yeah.
It was so long ago. It was
really
so
long ago. That's when I was puppy boy.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I actually got the nickname.
Has evolved.
Well, I got the nickname Dogboy because I graduated and I was working in advertising, and one of my friends, every time he asked me what I was doing, the answer involved dog. So I was either working at a kennel, working at the Humane Society, training a dog, or working at Tomlinson's, and he was like, "You're just a dog boy." But I learned a lot about food there and diet and how it affects behavior. And
yeah, that was really one of our kind of differentiating factors about our business, not just the group play aspect, but the fact that we knew so much about food, and it was all because of his work with Tomlinson's. Yeah. So it was a big part of what set us apart from our competitors when we first started.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that warms my heart. And we have a lot of employees that come through our doors and go on to become vet techs or veterinarians themselves, or dog trainers or things like that. So that always makes us happy, and we're always grateful to have that time with those team members for as long as they like to stay.
What do you think y'all's recipe for success is? Like, I mean, the fact that you are growing people to become like real adults, or I don't know how to phrase it, but like,
leaders.
Yeah, leaders in the world, or contributing.
Sure. All of that comes down. Yeah, all of that comes down to managers, right? So just as you were referencing, people don't quit jobs; they quit bad managers. And so we work hard to make sure that we have a strong manager core, that we teach them how to lead, and that we teach them how to foster and how to coach their teams. So I think that's where it starts.
Yeah. Do you guys have a core values?
They do.
Absolutely, we do, and you're gonna put me to the test.
Sorry,
we have a lot of we have a lot of them.
I've got them written down. If you miss any, I'm here to help you out.
Thanks. There are 8. So let's see if I can get them all. The first few are easy. So quality of the food and the products that we carry. That's number 1. Team members are focused on our team and the happiness and the fulfillment of our team members. Health is one. Health and quality kind of go hand in hand. Quality of service, health of the food, things like that. Rescue is a huge part of what we do. I mean, it's core to our DNA, and supporting rescue groups is a big deal. Trust is a big one. So that one comes from my grandfather, who was, just kind of always told us, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you have to,
True.
you have to earn people's trust if you, if you want to be heard. Which I think I've listed 5. Which ones am I missing?
I was going to say
delight. Yes. That kind of delight, quality, and health, they all kind of go together in terms of, the quality of customer service that we have.
Yeah. And then I think you said expertise, or no?
Yeah.
Expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say trust.
I think you got them all.
Trust sort of segues into expertise. Like, sorry, I got to bend over and pick up my dog. He's telling us the thunderstorm is coming.
He's like, I hear thunder.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is Noodle. He's almost 13.
Hey,
he's our little tweenie buddy.
Oh, hey kiddo.
Such a cutie. Such a cutie.
Yeah, he is cute.
So, but you guys have really grown your online store recently too, especially probably since COVID hit.
Yeah, so that's been fortuitous timing. I want to say in 2017, I was at dinner with my family, and we were talking about business because that's what we do when we have family dinners. Yeah. And I just kind of had this breakdown over our existing, or at the time, our point of sale system. And I just said, look, what we're dealing with now is not going to take us into the future. We have to make a change. We had been on that point of sale system since before I was born. No joke.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And I said, Dad, we have to make a change. And to my dad's credit, he said, okay, but do not underestimate the magnitude of screwing this up. So with that pressure applied, I set out and I researched new kind of internal technologies, chose one. And throughout 2017 and 2018, put all of my work time into building the online store. And I was pregnant at the time. So it was kind of this race of who's going to get here first.
Right.
So we launched our online store in December of 2018. My son was born in January 2019.
Nice.
And for all of 2019, we kind of scaled those operations. And then here comes 2020. And, our online store, which was doing this, suddenly did this.
Yeah.
And it's been a ride, but I'm grateful that we pulled that trigger when we did.
That's so great.
Did
that
you
timing
guys,
is awesome.
I'm sorry to talk over you.
That's okay.
Did you guys start delivery at that time, or were you already doing delivery before that?
So we started delivery when we launched our online store. At the time, we were operating with a kind of third-party courier service, local courier service, where orders would automatically flow to them, and they would, come pick them from stores and deliver. And then again, when COVID hit, we had no customers coming into our stores. We had employees standing around with nothing to do, and then we were paying a lot of money to a courier service to deliver our orders. So in about 2 weeks' time, we made the switch, and about half of our staff became delivery drivers, and we brought that all in-house. And if you told me at the beginning of 2020 that this is what we were up against, I would have just said, I'm going to take a nap for the year. But now that we're here, things went smoothly, and I'm grateful that we made it through that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, from a consumer standpoint, it's always been smooth sailing on this end. Like every time I ordered, the order was there same day or next day. And, with a friendly note and a smiley face, and I always got exactly what I ordered. It's just been wonderful.
And again,
that is all thanks to our staff, all thanks to our store staff, who are every single one of them is a champ. I'm so grateful for all of them.
Yeah.
And again, supporting, like, I would so much rather give you money than Amazon.
Well, yeah, we love supporting local business. We always have. And that's, it's nice. There are other pet stores in town, but there's nobody that, that's like a family owned, multi-generation, like you guys are the real deal. And that's something that we want to, lift up and show to our clients. We spent a lot of the early years really trying to educate them about food, about dog food. And it has it used to be really rare that people knew even what they were feeding their dogs. I mean, 20 years ago, we would ask our clients, like, what are you feeding this dog?
I don't know.
Because we were assessing its behavior, and we could tell, or could almost tell from looking at a dog if it was on like one of those cheap brands. I'll not name them, but now, I think some of our clients know more about dog food than we do. Like they're just like, oh, well, she only eats this and a mix of raw and, freeze dried raw. And I'm just like, whoa, hang on. I have some things to learn.
Yeah.
So you guys continue to be the experts there.
Yeah. And I mean, things changed it was about 2007 when things really changed. And what happened in 2007 was there were recalls across a whole bunch of mass brands. And what was happening was, in order for a pet food to be approved by AAFCO, it has to meet certain guidelines around how much protein it contains, et cetera. And some of these mass brands were buying cheap ingredients from overseas, and the makers of those ingredients, in order to kind of inflate their profits, were using an ingredient that imitates protein. So it's not actual protein, but it tricks the test into saying this food has enough protein.
Wow.
And that ingredient was killing dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Thousands of dogs died. It was a huge news event in 2007. It was an awful thing. And people kind of came online to, wait a second, what am I feeding? What is actually in this food?
Right.
People started to look at the ingredients and come into our doors and say, hey, I should probably figure out something better. And that was kind of when our industry really saw that kind of hockey stick growth.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
You probably know numbers better than I do. Just say in the last 10 years, like, what do you think, dollars wise, like what has changed in the industry as far as, I'm not sure how to phrase it. Just like they'll say pet care is a $20 billion industry right now. And like, over the last 20 years, because it's totally changed since we started.
It's totally changed. Yeah. And as far as how big the industry is, that's a good question. I don't know exact numbers, but what you've seen is kind of a confluence of a number of variables, right? So the issue that happened in 2007, you also have just consumers being more aware of what they're feeding themselves and then projecting that onto their pets. So, the same habits that they're adopting for themselves, low grain diets, or even keto diets, things like that, non-GMO, all of that's going into pet food because people want that for their pets. You're also seeing millennials delay having kids.
Yeah.
So their
pets become their kids.
Exactly. So kind of all of these things are playing a role in our industry, seeing a lot of growth in the past, I want to say 10 years or so.
Like I remember when wellness came out and just reading like the way they did their labeling, if you look at it, it looked like a sandwich board at a high-end restaurant, like what the ingredients were. It's like smoked Parisian chicken with, carrots and
it was human grade ingredients.
Yeah. I was like, I would eat all of those things. I mean, that looks delicious. And I think
it's incredible. My dog now eats, I'm not kidding, sous vide dog food.
Oh my.
So it's a great local maker here in
Is it
in
grocery
the Austin area. It is. They've actually just rebranded to a Pup Above, but it's the same food. It's the same owners. But yeah, sous vide dog food. That is where we're at today.
I met them at a Pflugerville Pet little fundraiser for the Pflugerville Pets Alive. She was super sweet. It's a husband and wife team, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Ruth and Javier. And the food is great. I mean, I haven't personally tasted it, but Major is extremely picky, and that is the one food that he will not turn his nose up at.
Major.
Is it, do they cook it that way to keep the nutrients and everything so they're not getting baked off, or? Yeah,
so it's what it is it's meat and veggies and things like that. And they pack them in BPA-free kind of plastic baggies. And then they submerge that in water that I believe goes up to 165. So it's cooked at a low temperature. And then all those juices stay in that bag. So whenever I cut that bag open and I dump it, I mean, it's just this kind of nasty slurp. And Major loves it.
Yeah.
He's like dogs.
Yeah, I think we fed it to
Yeah.
Noodle for a little while, and then I realized that to feed it to my 70-pound dog was going to cost, more than I was ready to pay. But
Yeah,
if I had to do it all
it's-
over again, I would probably continue to do it for my little guy, because he's
Yeah,
loves being,
Yeah.
Look at
well
him.
taken care of.
He's
Right.
just staring at you.
He's so funny.
he deserves it. He's looking at you thinking, I don't see a problem here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like,
with that.
I think it's snack time. Just
Yeah.
saying.
He always knows when it's. Do you guys have any plans to expand anymore? Like leave Texas or?
No, definitely no plans to leave Texas. Oof, that makes me want to take a
Yeah,
nap.
too much.
Take a
Next,
nap.
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell my 18-month-old that this is what is on his to-do list.
Yeah.
Um,
Aw.
I mean, that's a great question. And we had somebody ask us the other day, what are your annual percentage growth numbers? And we're lucky in that we are 100% family owned. So we do not have private investors. We're not backed by, private capital that's pushing us for aggressive growth. Our
Right.
goal is to just kind of obsessively focus on our customer. And
Yeah.
if we see customer demand in an area that we're not meeting, we'll go to it.
Mhm.
But we're not gonna put in new stores just to have more doors.
Oh, that's great. That's
So
great.
that's kind of how
it
we
should
look
be.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had people ask us if we were ever going to open another location, and I said I want to be at Hut's Hamburgers, not a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lots
absolutely.
of people have offered to pay, to put money down to be investors. And
I was like,
I'm just
no.
like, I really don't want anybody making decisions but me and Bart.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and I mean, I think it was Whole Foods CEO that described investors as hitchhikers. As
Yeah.
long as you're going the direction that they want you to go, they're happy to pay for gas. But as soon as you turn a different direction, they kick you out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah. No thanks.
So yeah,
We'll just
absolutely.
stick. Two local businesses will just stick together. And
Yeah.
we're really grateful for the fact that you and your family all come here and board your dogs during your family trips. And it just
We
makes us
do.
smile.
It makes us smile because we see the social media posts of, and usually what it is it's Major chasing a ball,
Yeah.
Isis trying to keep up, and then Birdie in the back,
Yeah,
just watching,
keeping an eye on everything.
being her kind of neurotic border collie self.
and
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We've gotten some great pictures of them over the years.
one or two of
Yeah.
them in the pond.
Yes.
There's that one
definitely.
picture where they're just like, well, I think it's Major. I can't remember, but one of them has this huge stick in his mouth.
Huge. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So cute.
Branch manager.
So
Yeah.
cute. So I will say, or I guess I want to ask just how it's been raising your son during all this, because I know we started, when we first started, our son was born just right as we built our first kennel. Our daughter was born right as we built our second kennel. So it's a very familiar feeling that we have growing up with our children kind of in tow.
Mhm.
How's that
Mhm.
going?
It's going great. I mean, we're very fortunate in that, we are a family business, so I have a lot of flexibility around how I can take care of him, but he is just kind of along for the ride. I mean, like I said, the site launched so soon before he was born, and I went into the hospital, I had the baby, and he was still on the warming table, and I was having to send work texts of this order needs to go to this store and this order needs to go to this store. And
Awesome.
my dad was in the waiting room looking at his phone like, what? She's crazy.
Why are you working right now?
Yeah, you just had a baby. So it is what it is. It's all an adventure, but I'm grateful to have everybody along for the ride.
Yeah, I
That's great.
think your son will grow up admiring you for, your hard work and your drive. I know our kids seem to be.
Yeah, it took them a while to get it. At first, they wanted to live in a neighborhood with kids, and
Yeah.
but recently our son was like, "You guys are kind of cool," and we were like, "Finally!"
That's great. That's great. And it's a
Yeah.
great environment. I mean, it's a great place to grow up. And I mean, when my brother and I were kids, we worked in the stores in the summer, and
Yeah.
I made $5.35 an hour.
Yeah.
We cleaned toilets, we cleaned bird cages. We were not above anything.
Mhm.
And so that's, we've been very fortunate to have the success that we've had. And that's important to me, that one of these days when my kid's old enough, he's going to walk into a store and I'm going to hand him a toilet scrub brush and say,
Get it.
get to it.
Get to it. I did it.
Yeah. So he knows where he came from.
Do you can you talk about, like, you said something about your work with rescue groups, and like what do you guys do
Yeah,
with them?
tell us a
and,
little bit about the philanthropy that
like,
Tomlinsons does.
Yeah, so we are definitely our biggest initiative every year is our annual pound for pound food drive, and that takes place over the holidays. And customers come in and they're asked to donate a bag of food to a group of rescues, and any bag that they donate, we match pound for pound, hence the name.
Wow.
And that has kind of it's grown over the years. And I think in our peak year, we raised over 175,000 pounds of food,
wow.
which is what, 5 semi trucks. I mean, it's just
Oh
an
my
incredible
gosh.
amount of food.
That's a lot of food.
And that keeps over 20 local rescues stocked for an entire year.
Yeah. Wow.
And so what that means for those rescues is the money that they and their fosters would have had to spend purchasing food now can be allocated towards medical cases and things like that. So they're actually able to rescue more dogs and cats than they otherwise would be able to afford.
Oh, that's great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yay.
Thanks.
love
I had
that.
to give credit where credit's due. That idea actually came from our South Lamar store manager, Teresa Palm, who I want to say about 10 or 12 years ago just started doing it on her own. She strong-armed one of our dog food reps into participating. And my dad showed up at the store one day and he said, Teresa, what is all this extra food doing back here? She said, oh, by the way, I'm running this food drive.
Yeah.
And he
Don't
said,
worry about it.
Don't mind me.
Yeah. He said, well, that's a great idea. Let's do it at all the other stores. So she's the originator of that idea and many other good ones.
Wow.
Yay. It really is the people that work for you that really, I mean, people thank us, and I'm sure they thank you, and you're like, it's
Not just me.
it's not us.
Yeah.
It's our staff is incredible. And
it's amazing once you start, listening to everything that they have to say, they really can bring some ideas that you never would even think of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every time we have a managers meeting, I come away with it with a to-do list that reaches the floor of amazing ideas.
cool.
Great team. How many employees you guys have now? Do you know?
We're bumping up about 145
Wow.
team members.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is a lot.
So proud of all the work that you've done.
Yay.
Grateful for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Your dad is really lucky to have you
And your brother.
And your brother.
And your mom. I mean, what a wonderful team.
Yeah, we're lucky to have each other. So I certainly would not recommend working with family to most people. But we grew up doing it, so we kind of all stay in our own lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all rowing the same way, and you know your area in the boat, so to speak.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
Do you want to ask Kate your speed round questions?
Speed round questions.
All right.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. What is your first memory of like a dog? Like first time you remember playing?
My first memory of a dog is we had an Aussie mix named Misty, and we lived in Round Rock, and we lived several blocks away from my grandparents. And Misty lived at both houses, so she would come hang out with us, and then she would walk down the road and go hang out at my grandparents. And this was back when Round Rock was a much smaller town than it is now. So I have sweet memories with Misty.
How old?
How old was I?
How old were you? Yeah, at the time.
Oh, I was maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, second question. How many dogs have you had lifetime?
Lifetime, we had Misty, then Brittany, who was a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, which is the longest name for a dog.
Yeah.
Sassy, Brittany Sassy, who's also a Spaniel, Mac, and now I have Major.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Major was my first dog.
Yeah.
It's a big step.
And how old is Major now?
Oh, he is coming up on 8 years old, which I just can't believe.
Yeah. It goes by fast, really fast.
Yeah, it does.
What's I don't know if the next question applies to like your family or to Major since he's your first dog, but like what's the biggest amount of money you've had to
drop on the dog, or like what's your biggest like, oh no moment?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe he did that.
Definitely biggest oh no moment. Major, thankfully, is a very good dog. He's never chewed anything up, etc. But we had Brittany, who's a spaniel, and Mac at the same time. Mac was a border collie Great Pyrenees mix.
Uh-oh.
He was huge and a little testy, and Brittany was kind of clueless. And Mac would signal to her like, "Get away from me! I don't really want you around. You're annoying me." And Brittany was deaf, and so she did not pick up on those cues.
Yeah.
So there was one day in high school, I was sitting on the couch, and Brittany rubbed Mac the wrong way, and she snapped at her. And those dogs have kind of short noses, so their eye sockets are sensitive to pressure points.
Oh, yikes.
And when Mac snapped at her, her little eyeball just popped right out.
Oh.
And I was sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And my dad ran out. My dad was like, oh, and he picked her up, and he was trying to pop it back in. And we had to take her to the vet. And I remember walking into the emergency vet, and everybody in the waiting room just went, ooh.
And you're holding the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it go back in?
No, it did not. It definitely did not. But she, thankfully for sweet Brittany, she was not in pain. She was just kind of like, oh, suddenly the lights have gone out.
Yeah.
So thankfully she wasn't in pain. So then she was deaf and blind in one eye. Sweet dog.
No.
Poor dog.
That's
Sweet
definitely the
girl.
biggest,
The great story.
biggest oh no moment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
That definitely counts.
I can see your dad. I'm not a vet. I'm not a vet.
Yeah.
I know animals, but not like this.
Yeah.
He was trying to hold it together for me and my mom, but he was definitely grossed out.
Yeah.
Oh my
poor guy.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for playing.
Yes.
The
Thank
speed
you
round.
for
Thank
playing
you.
the speed round with Bart. It's his favorite part of the podcast.
It is.
Great.
I'm thinking of adding a question or two. I just don't know what. We've asked all the people the same questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Those are good
Well,
ones.
We
Thanks.
have loved having you on the podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see more, great things come from you guys. We will continue to use you for our own, personal use, but also we'll continue to promote Tomlinsons to all of our clients and
Yay.
friends and family. So for those of you who are out there listening, Tomlinsons.com, and we'll put all the info that you need in the show notes too.
Yeah. Thank you. The feeling is mutual.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for playing with us today.